Good morning, everybody. It's Kay Kaltoff. Welcome. We are live streaming here on Facebook. I think I have it all set up right. It only took like 20 minutes. It only took 20 minutes to get it all set up, but hopefully your sound quality is better and we're doing great. Good morning. Oh, yay, you're sharing. Thank you, Nisi. Thank you, Teresa. Good morning, Janine. Janine's in my downline group. I should bring this in a little closer so I can see it. Hello. Yes. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm taking the day off tomorrow, which is going to be super fun. I'm going to my daughter's house and we are just going to cook all day. I'm pretty famous for my pumpkin pie cheesecake. So that is what I'll be focusing on tomorrow. Plus I'm making some meals for the weekend as well. Hello. Good morning. All right. Well, I stopped at Caribou yesterday. And they had a new coffee mug. The lady that took my order and then she saw I was buying a coffee mug, she says, I might have to turn you in to like the coffee mug police. She says, we might need to do an intervention because I was buying yet again another coffee mug. So here it is. Do you just love it? So I even wore my dad's shirt today. So like it's so real, right? Minnesota plaid. That's where we're at today. But it's so comfortable. And it's got little pine trees. And pine trees are pretty special in my life. Pine trees, I look out my window, I see pine trees. I go to the front yard, I see pine trees. We go to Wisconsin, we see tons of pine trees. We go up north to northern Minnesota, we see pine trees. We go to the farm, we see pine trees. There's just pine trees everywhere. So it's only appropriate that the swap card I did for my downline demonstrator swap last month was pine trees. Makes total sense, right? Oh, goodness. Good morning. Thank you for sharing. Hello. Yes, Janine's saying how much she loves the Caribou mugs. I know it's just kind of a problem when I walk into a Caribou store and there's another one that I don't have that I absolutely love. Their mug marketing department has got me pegged. And I got a fresh cup of coffee this morning. I should drink with my left hand though, because on this mug, the part I want you to see is this side. Wow, you have to be a lot more deliberate, making sure you don't spill when you drink with your left hand, at least in my case. Oh, goodness. Well, it's great to be here. I am excited to share the card with you. Let me show you what it looks like. It looks like this. This is the card I made for my downline for the swap. And yes, you'll get a much better look at this when I flip the camera down. And I am excited to do that. And I'm going to be using the Stamparatus today because, of course, when you're making Christmas cards, you want to do multiples. So I'll show you how to do that. Then we have some winners. This is from last week's Facebook Live. And our winners are Marilyn Skorker and Julie. I know I'm just crucifying these last names, but Julie Maestris. Not really sure how to say that. But you guys won. Yes, so you won some holiday gems. So I'm excited to send these out to you. All you have to do is get in touch with me. And I think I have, oh shoot, do I not? I thought I was going to have my email handy. Oh, I do. I'll show it to you. This is my handy dandy email, stampingtoshare@gmail.com. Just contact me there with your addresses. Or you can contact me on Facebook Messenger, but honestly, I'm terrible at looking at that. Better to get in touch with me by email. So stampingtoshare@gmail.com. So simple. Hello. Oh, Jean said she just made a fresh cup of coffee. Yay. Oh no, I'm going to drink with my left hand. It's so easy to forget because I want my dad's plaid shirt showing up in the picture along with my mug. All right, so I think we have given this long enough for people to find us. Yes, we have some watchers. Yay! So I am going to flip the camera down and we'll get started making this really pretty card. So just give me a second and we will get this rolling here. How's that for smooth? I'm still kind of learning all the ropes here, but we're getting better. So what we are using today is the Painted Christmas Suite. Not all of the products in the Painted Christmas Suite, but particularly the 2 stamp sets. There's one, of course, that features pine cones. That's one we're using. And then one with Christmas greetings. So I'm using the Christmas season bundle and the Christmas to Remember greetings on this card. I'm also using the Painted Christmas Designer Series paper, which I love. So let's look. Here's the Christmas season stamp set. And these are the dies over here that I'm using to cut out the images on our card today. However, the die set is huge. So I just want to open this up and show you how many more dies are available to you in this stamp set besides the one that I shared with you. So lots and lots of great label dies. So I've even had customers get this whole die set because they told me they were so excited about the labels. And again, this is what we're using. And I've already pre-cut everything, so I probably don't need to show this again, but I'm going to leave it handy just in case I do. Then these are the sentiments. This is a great big Christmas sentiment set. And it does have dies that coordinate with, well, they don't actually coordinate with it. They complement it. So the dies are like huge bunches of pine cones. I don't have them, but I knew I was going to use the Christmas to Remember stamp set. So that's what I have here. And this is the card. So let me hold it up nice and close so you can see it. Have a holly jolly Christmas. You'll notice I have some really pretty beads on here. Those are actually our brushed metallic or brushed metallic gems or whatever. What are they called? Let me see. Do I even have the flyer here? Brushed metallic adhesive back dots. That's what it is. Wanted to make sure I had the right name in case you were looking for it. So these are the copper ones, and I love them very much. All right, and then let me show you the Designer Series paper. This is the Painted Christmas Designer Series paper, and I really do love how it looks. And you've seen me use this, and for those of you getting my kit to go this month, which I'm mailing out today, for those of you that are anxiously awaiting, as soon as this is over, and I do a few little cleanup things, I am going straight to packing up the kits to go. And so hopefully get those in the mail today along with your email. And then here is, these are just really pretty, and lots of pine trees featured on these papers. So I love it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start, of course, with our card base. This is soft, succulent, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And on the inside panel, we have a piece of basic white. It's 4 by 5 1/4. And on the bottom, I just put a coordinating piece of Designer Series paper that's 3/4 by 4 inches. Just helps tie the inside to the outside. Then I'm going to take some soft succulent ink, and you could put this on a Stamparatus plate if you wanted to, but my Stamparatus plates are already busy. So I am hand stamping my sentiment here. And it says, "May this be a Christmas to remember and cherish." And again, that was with the soft succulent ink. I'm going to leave it open because we'll be using it again. Then I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal, just put a quick little line at the top. That's all you really need. And we're going to flip this over and put this centered in on the inside panel. So we have our inside panel done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start building our outside panel. So our outside panel will start with a piece of Evening Evergreen paper. This is our Evening Evergreen cardstock. It's cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And to save a little weight on this, as well as to save some paper, if you're more of an economist, you can cut this panel that underlies everything with the die cut that we're using to feature our images. So I did that in advance. So we will use this cutout piece as well as this piece to anchor our images. So that's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. That's a really good deal. Okie doke. Now we're going to take a panel of designer series paper that I've cut 1/8 inch smaller than our evening evergreen panel. So it is at 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And now we're just going to take some multi-purpose liquid glue. We're going to keep it very much to the outside edges because we don't want it leaking through that big hole in the center of the evening evergreen. And we're going to go ahead and put this right onto our evening evergreen paper. And with the glue, you can just kind of scooch it into place so everything lines up nicely. And now we are at this point. So here's the back side that nobody sees, so they won't know that that's there. But we're going to be putting this on the front side. So the next step is to actually place this onto the front of this panel. So I'm going to do that right now. And just because I have it nice and handy, I'm going to use my Stamp and Seal. And we are going to put this pretty close to this top edge right here. And then we're going to make sure the right and the left sides are nice and even. So this is what it looks like at this point. The next thing we have is a scrap of basic white, and you want to cut out your sentiment. So technically you should stamp and then cut out your sentiment. And so I did that. This is the, oh, and I forgot to do, you know what? I forgot to mention, I guess we are using one more. See, I prepare these things when I'm actually making the card. And then sometimes when it comes time to actually doing the video, I don't have everything figured out. So what we want is also this label for our sentiment. So I just didn't have that out on my pad here, but I did cut this out. So you can either cut this out in advance, or you can stamp it and then cut it out. So I actually did stamp and then I cut out. So let me show you that. And I did it with the soft succulent ink. And I used Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. And so we're going to end up putting that about right here. But we want to anchor this pretty die with a ribbon. So we're going to take our soft succulent sheer ribbon, and it looks like this. And soft succulent is one of our really awesome in colors, and it has been popular, let me tell you. So we're going to cut this just a little bit longer. And we are going to go ahead and wrap that. So I know I want it to be, I want this pretty close to the top because we need room for our pine cones. And I want this to go right over the top of where those, where that end pieces are. So I'm just going to move this, lift this up, press this under, and let me reach a really long distance here for my Scotch tape. And we are going to set this in just so it stays nice and settled where it's supposed to be. That looks pretty good to me. So we'll just clip those ends down. And now we have our sentiment that's going to go right here. See how that fits on there so nice? So to put our sentiment down, once again, I'm going to use some Stamp and Seal. And I'm going to use quite a bit because I know that it's going over the top of ribbon. So I want to make sure that it is going to hold its spot. So I want some of the sentiment over the ribbon and under the ribbon as well as on the ribbon. So we're going to set this in so that these little center pieces are even. And then just give it a good press. So this is where we're at right now. So we have our wrap on, so now we can safely go ahead and put this onto the front of our card. So I'm going to do that. And I'll use multi-purpose liquid glue so I can wiggle it into place. We'll set this in, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle until we have it just where we want it, and then give it a little press. Now we have some stamping to do with the Stamparatus because we want to add our pine cones and our pine boughs. All right, so to do that, let me get my Stamparatus in the picture and let me show you how I've layered it up. Let's see, let me move this for a second. I have it layered up so that we have this, this kind of thin foam map that goes on first. And then you can purchase separately this foam mat, which actually has all of the measurements and the grid on. So I've got that next. Then I want to show you that I created a template when I was doing this for my downline. So what I did is I just cut out a pine bough. I can never say it right. You have to excuse me. I'm not very good at pronouncing words. For those of you that have listened to me a long time, you know that. But here it is. So I cut it out and I didn't actually measure it in or anything. I just took a piece of scrap paper, cut out the pine branch. How's that? I can say the word branch. And we are going to set this in right here. I think that's how I've lined it up. So I just have it set into that corner. I have the cutout, and then so that I didn't get ink onto this layer, I just put a Post-it note back here. Just something so that I wouldn't have ink on my Stamparatus. Then what I do is I set everything up. I have to turn it this way. I set everything up so that my pine branch would fit into this little hole perfectly. And then I didn't have to, so there's so many branches on this card. Let me share it with you. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to create four of them. And for every card, that gets to be a lot. And if you're stamping them and then lining up each stamped image with the die, it takes forever. So what I did is I cut them all out of white, Whisper White, with my stamping, with my die cutting machine. Got all of those out. So I had a bunch of pieces that looked like, let me show it to you. They looked like this. I had a whole bunch of pieces that looked like that. So, and then then I went ahead and I just made sure this was all working today. And here's what it looks like. So then I just can insert the blank pieces in here and then stamp them. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start with the lightest color of ink, which is the soft succulent, because we want 2 of these branches in soft succulent and 2 in evening evergreen. So I'm going to take my stamp set, because it's always handy to have a stamp set underneath. And then I'm going to ink it up with the soft succulent. And I'm going to insert one of these branches into that little spot. And then I can just close this up and I get a perfectly stamped image in soft succulent of the little branch. See? So now I can do that with another one because we have another soft succulent branch. Close it up, press it down, and we get another perfectly stamped pine branch. And now we need one more in the evening evergreen. So since I started with soft succulent, that's my lightest color. That works great because now I don't even really need to clean it because I'm just using another green and a darker green at that. So it's going to work well. So I can just open this up. And I'm going to ink this up. Whoops, I almost forgot to put my branch in. Set that in. You get into a rhythm when you're doing multiples. So I was doing, I don't know, 20 cards probably. And I was just in a rhythm and it just didn't take that long at all. It actually takes a lot longer to explain it than to do it. So there's my final one. And they all just turned out perfect and exactly the same. That's one of the bonuses of using a Stamparatus. All right, so we're going to set these aside. And then we're going to talk about the pine cones. So I have extra plates, which is helpful. So I was able to keep these on my plates. And then I think I do need to turn this around because I have one set up to go like this. And then because we have a second area that we can use on our plate, I have the other one set up to go like this. See that, how easy that works? All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a piece of scrap. This is just some basic white paper, and I'm going to set it right here because that is going to be my marker. And then we have these great little magnets in the back. I'll see if I can get them out. Hold on. They're super, super strong. So I rarely ever put two magnets on at the same time, but it's helpful for holding your paper into place. Even with all of these layers, these magnets are so strong, it still stays attached really well. So I want it to be right there. I think I'll just put it right here. So get everything lined up, get your magnet where you want it, and then we're going to go ink up these pine cones. So I'm going to start with the kind of background part of the pine cone, which I'm going to do, oh shoot, I have it in Sahara sand. I don't want Sahara sand. I want crumb cake. Well, I'm going to use Sahara sand because it's what I have. I don't know where my crumb cake is at the moment, but Sahara sand will work as well. All right. So you can use Sahara sand or crumb cake. Doesn't really matter. They're in the background anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. And look at, there it is. Then we're going to take the early espresso for the overlap. And I'll ink that up way up here at the top of your screen. I'm sure you can't see this, but that's okay. Just know that I've inked it up. And now I can bring this one down, set it right over the top, give it a press. And there we have our perfectly stamped pine cones. See how quick that is? Then you just cut it out with your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with the coordinating dies, and you will end up with pine cones that look like this. See how perfect and cute they are? All right, so now we're ready to assemble the rest of our cards. So let me put my Stamparatus aside. And we'll go ahead and assemble our card. So here's our card. I'm going to see if I can bring the camera up a little closer. Oh, you know what? I can't. So I'm just going to have to hold it up closer to the camera at various points. I wish I had kind of a zoom thing, but I don't. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to get some, you are going to get some adhesive on all of this. So I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back of our pine cones. I'm going to add some adhesive to the backs of our pine branches. So we're doing that all in advance. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the branches on first. So I'm going to start with a soft succulent and an evening evergreen. And we are just going to set these in just like so. Just like that. And then press them down. Then take your two other branches and you're going to set those in kind of going downwards. Just like that. Then you're going to take your pine cones, and you're going to set those in, and everything just goes straight on. I'm not using any dimensionals. So just go ahead and set those in next. So this is what it looks like. Isn't that great? Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your adhesive backed brushed metallic dots, and we're going to use our Stampin' or take your pick tool. And I honestly think that any of these colors work well. I've used the copper. In fact, the card that I showed you used the copper. I've used the gold. Today, I'm going to use the bronze. So I'm going to take one of the bronze ones and put it right here. And then I'll take another bronze, and we're going to set that one. If I can get it off my finger, we're going to set that up here. And I can take a smaller bronze one and just set that. Oh my goodness, I'm having trouble here. I think I need to revisit my putty. It's a little crazy. Hold on. I'm going to take this end. Oh, now look how much better behaved it is. I'm going to put that one down here. Doesn't really matter where you put them, just kind of get them on your card in 3 nice scattered spots. So this is what the card looks like when it's all done. Isn't it pretty? Such a pretty Christmas card. And this is the inside panel. Well, I want to, let me see if I can bring my face back up one more time here. Yes. Hello. I just want to go ahead and wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving and a very safe Thanksgiving, safe travels for all of you that are going to be going out of town or traveling to see other family members. I'm very excited about Thanksgiving. It's probably one of my favorite holidays of the year. So, and every year I bring the same thing. Have you guys noticed that? Have you found that you end up bringing the same thing every year? So I have to bring the pumpkin pie cheesecake, and I have to bring the broccoli raisin sunflower seed salad. Those are my 2 jobs. And then after Thanksgiving, we're going to be spending some time at the farm. So looking forward to that. We'll see all of you soon. Now, next week, just as an FYI, I will not be here on Tuesday. And I don't know if I'm going to be here on Wednesday or Thursday either. We have an extremely busy next week. And so I may be out of town. But I will let you know if things don't work out the way I'm thinking they're going to work out, and I am for some reason here, I will let you know. I usually do an Instagram post the morning of any Facebook Lives, and then I jump on here and share that with all of you. So you'll know by checking my feed, but I may not be here. So just fair warning that I could be gone next week. Otherwise, just a quick little thank you to all of the customers that placed orders with me last week during our Stampin' Up! Sale. And I truly appreciate it. You guys are so great. I'm a little behind on getting thank yous out because I'm focused on getting my November kit to go out this afternoon. So those thank yous, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much I get to before the day is over. We'll talk to you soon, everyone. Bye-bye.